Retirees who stay financially comfortable at 75, 80, even 85 years old all seem to share one quiet habit. They stop buying certain things. Not because they're being cheap, but because they've figured out which purchases actually protect their future and which ones quietly drain it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 7 specific things secure retirees stop spending money on and why each one matters more than people realize. Here's what most people get backwards. They assume that staying financially secure in retirement is mostly about how much you saved before you stopped working. Savings matter, of course, but what happens after retirement, the daily and monthly spending decisions, often matters just as much, sometimes more. 2 people can retire with the exact same amount of money, and 10 years later, one is completely comfortable while the other is running low, simply because of the habits they kept or dropped along the way. The first thing secure retirees stop buying is a brand new car every few years. A new car loses a significant chunk of its value the moment it's driven off the lot, and financing a new vehicle in retirement means committing a fixed monthly payment against a fixed income for years at a time. Retirees who stay comfortable tend to buy reliable used vehicles or hold on to a paid-off car far longer than they might have during their working years, because a car payment competing against a retirement budget is very different from a car payment competing against a full-time paycheck. The second thing is extended warranties. Extended warranties on appliances, electronics, and vehicles are priced to be profitable for the company selling them, which means, on average, they cost more over time than the repairs they're meant to cover. Secure retirees tend to set aside their own small emergency repair fund instead, self-insuring against the occasional broken appliance rather than paying a premium to a company for a promise that rarely pays out more than it costs. The third thing is trendy home renovations. A full kitchen remodel or a major bathroom overhaul might feel exciting, but for many retirees living on a fixed income, this kind of large, discretionary spending can eat into savings that were meant to last for decades. Financially secure retirees tend to draw a clear line between necessary maintenance, a roof that needs fixing, a furnace that's failing, and cosmetic upgrades chosen mainly to keep up with current design trends. The first protects the home's value and safety. The second is often just an expensive way to feel good for a few months. The fourth thing is luxury status purchases. Designer brands, high-end watches, and similar items bought mainly for the appearance of success rather than the function of the item itself. Many retirees who reach true financial comfort describe an interesting pattern. The less they feel the need to prove anything to anyone, the less appealing these purchases become. It's not that they can't afford it. It's that the psychological payoff of the purchase fades once someone stops needing external validation, and the money quietly goes toward things that matter more instead. The fifth thing is expensive, high-maintenance hobbies taken on impulsively right after retiring. It's common to retire with big plans, an expensive boat, a costly collection, an activity with ongoing membership fees and equipment costs. Some of these bring genuine, lasting joy. Others get used heavily for the first year and then sit mostly unused while the costs continue anyway. Secure retirees tend to test a new hobby in a smaller, lower-cost way first, renting before buying, joining before committing, before locking themselves into an ongoing expense that may or may not still excite them a few years down the road. The sixth thing is high fee, percentage-based financial advisors when a simpler, lower-cost option would do the same job. A financial advisor charging a percentage of assets under management year after year can quietly cost tens of thousands of dollars over a retirement, even if the advice itself never changes. Financially secure retirees increasingly compare that ongoing percentage-based fee against flat-fee financial planning or simple, low-cost index-based investment strategies, and many find they can get comparable results while keeping far more of their own money working for them instead of paying it out annually in fees. Even a fee that sounds small on paper, 1% a year, compounds over a 20 or 30-year retirement into a substantial amount of money that could have stayed invested and growing. The seventh thing is impulse. Emotional purchases. Buying something in response to a bad day, boredom, or a stressful moment, rather than an actual need or a planned want. This is one of the harder habits to notice in yourself, because each individual purchase often feels small and justifiable in the moment. But added up over a year, emotional spending can quietly become one of the largest unplanned categories in a retirement budget. Secure retirees often describe building in a short pause, waiting a day or two, before making a non-essential purchase, which is usually enough time for the emotional urge to fade and a clearer decision to take its place. Let's put a face on this pattern. Consider two retirees, Patricia and Diane, who retired the same year with similar savings. Patricia bought a new car every 4 years, added a kitchen remodel in year 3, and kept a percentage-based advisor charging 1% annually. Diane drove her paid-off car for 9 years, fixed only what actually broke in her house, and switched to a flat-fee advisor. 10 years later, the difference in their remaining savings wasn't caused by one dramatic decision. It was the steady accumulation of these 7 quiet choices, repeated year after year. It's worth pausing on why these 7 specific things matter more than they might seem to at first glance. A car payment, a warranty fee, a renovation loan, a status purchase, a hobby subscription, an advisory fee, and an impulse buy each look small individually. None of them would sink a retirement on their own. What makes this pattern powerful is that it's not really about any single purchase. It's about the direction those decisions point over 10, 15, 20 years. Retirement isn't a single financial event. It's a long stretch of ordinary months. And ordinary months are exactly where these habits either protect savings or quietly erode them, one small decision at a time. There's also a psychological shift that tends to happen alongside these habit changes, and it's worth naming. Many people spend their working years associating certain purchases with success or comfort. The newer car, the bigger renovation, the recognizable brand. Retirement often changes what actually brings satisfaction day to day. Time with family, health, a sense of security, and freedom from financial stress tend to move up in importance, while some of the purchases that used to feel meaningful start to feel less necessary. The retirees who notice this shift early tend to redirect their spending accordingly. The ones who keep spending the same way out of habit, without reassessing, are often the ones who find their savings shrinking faster than expected. None of these 7 things mean retirees should never spend money or never enjoy themselves. That's not the pattern here at all. The pattern is about where the spending goes, toward things that hold their value, support daily life, and align with what actually brings lasting satisfaction, rather than toward things driven by habit, marketing, image, or a passing emotional moment. Secure retirees don't necessarily spend less overall. They spend more intentionally. Here's the bottom line. The habits that separate financially secure retirees from those who struggle later often aren't dramatic financial moves. They're small, repeated choices about a car, a warranty, a renovation, a status purchase, a hobby, a fee, and an impulse buy. None of them look significant in a single month. All 7, repeated over a decade or two, can be the difference between a retirement that stays comfortable and one that quietly runs into trouble. Here's your homework for this week. Look back at your last 3 months of spending and ask yourself honestly, which purchases fall into one of these 7 categories? You don't need to cut everything out overnight. Just notice the pattern first. Awareness is usually the first real step toward changing it. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button. It helps more people find this before these habits quietly add up. And if you want more videos breaking down the real decisions behind a comfortable retirement, hit subscribe. Now drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 7 hits closest to home for you? I read every single comment. And if you want to know the exact order to pull money from your retirement accounts to keep more of it away from taxes, watch the video right here. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.